and blisters. Like to welcome you to the garage, home of the worldwide mechanics. I'm your lead mechanic, Mech Rashawn. As always, hit the likes, hypes, and subs. That's the fastest way to show your boy love. I was fully prepared to come on here and give a recap to the event that I had to go to last night. Um, it was dope. It was dope. Don't let me get it. I'm gonna start off with no cap. It was dope. Shout out to Busta Rhymes, the new album Diligence 2. Album produced with Bus on the bars and the late great Jay Dilla on the beats. Super fire. Super fire. Um, it is dropping on the 28th of this month. About to jump off. It's gonna be dope. And I went in there completely prepared to hop on my live, like I said I was gonna do, and give y'all a little taste. And that was completely my mistake because Bus was adamant about no one having their phones out, no one recording any joints, no sneak peeks, no previews, no nothing, which was, disappointing. It's like I couldn't even have my phone out just off the strength that somebody could have recorded it and had samples of the music out there. I didn't expect him to be that strict, which in all honesty is pretty dumb of me. I really should have expected him to be that strict, like in all honesty. We're talking about we're talking about Jay Dilla, like one of his greatest production inspirations of all time, a dude who he's made it a point to have on multiple albums, who he has a personal relationship with the mother, Jay Dilla's mom's. I don't know why I let it sink into my head that he would be okay with us just broadcasting this album before it came out. I really should have thought better about that. But I did not. I did not. And therefore, I got to you guys and made a promise that I ended up making a promise that I couldn't keep, or trying to do something that I wasn't able to do. I don't know if I actually promised. I rarely use the word promise, but I did make a deal with you guys, I guess I should say, that I couldn't hold up my end of the bargain for, which really sucked. It's really sucked because I did want y'all to hear this project. I mean, I wasn't gonna play the whole thing, of course not. That would have been tacky and you know very clownish. But I definitely wanted y'all to hear at least a sample would have been nice. That would have been cool. If I could have got y'all a sample, that would have been dope. Um, um, no, that's the right ear. How's it sound? Am I louder now? Just want to make sure the sound is cool before I get into the topic of this particular live. Um, First of all, let me do a quick roll call one time to Wolf, Big Sugar, of course, Tiff Blue, of course, just, A says, Executive Coach for Peace, what up? Dwayne Malden, good to see you, as always. Just wanted to, right, Sugar, Sugar, you're right, but I always want to come through for y'all. I don't know if you get that or not. I mean, I think that was a dumb thing to say, but I always want to come through for y'all. Y'all rock with me. I be trying to. I want to make this ride worth it. I want y'all to, walk out of this room happy that you rock with your boy. That's what you're seeing. And if I can't pull that off, whenever I can't get y'all something, um, whenever I can't get y'all something, it just feels like, that was an L. It feels like an L. It feels like an L. It feels like it feels like an L. I wanted to do something specifically for my room, for my crew, my garage, and I wasn't able to pull it off, and that sucked. But he was yelling at people for trying to record. Yo, he threw 4 people out last night. 4 people he caught on camp. He caught trying to film. He made them erase the footage and then he put them out. And as his A&R, if I got thrown out for doing exactly what he's asking the crowd not to do, yeah, not a good look. Oh, we got some heads in here. Oh, Kenny Mack, what up, bro? Good to see you. Oh, we got somebody from Poland. Salute. I told you the garage is all over the place. Hi, macho men. I'm from Poland. Okay, let's see where this goes. But salute to Poland. I caught the Rob Markman video, Dwayne, and you know what I'm about to get at. Just I'm not even gonna tell you to keep it on safety, sugar. Just you know what I'm doing here. In the meantime, before we get into this session, hit the likes, hypes, and subs to the folks who are up there lurking. That's how you show your boy love. Everybody hit the like one time, and let's get into this conversation. If you did not see the Rob Markman video, it's a response to our good old friend DJ Akademiks. Ak decided he was going to shout out Rob Markman, Mark Lamont Hill, and one other person who, for some reason, their name is escaping me, a sister. I can't remember who it was exactly, though. He decided he was going to shout them out because he did some research, he did some actual journalism. I don't want to put it in quotes. He did some research. He did a story, I guess, researched it all the way through. Salute, nothing wrong there. And then he challenged established journalists. I mean, I'm trying to remember the sister's name. I don't want to vouch for her credentials without me knowing her name. But Rob Markman and Mark Lamont Hill. First of all, Mark Lamont Hill is not an entertainment journalist. If you know journalism, you know that we have different segments like anything else. Being a journalist is not gassing it, but in this regard, being a journalist is like being a doctor. That you have specialties. Now, there are basics that you need in order to be able to do that job. You need like the basic training, but at the same time, there are specialties. I would never want a cardiologist working on a foot issue that I have. I don't need a gynecologist swapped out with my oncologist. Like you dig what I mean? It's just not the same thing. Likewise, entertainment journalism, political journalism, these are specialties. You have to be like nose deep in it. You can definitely figure a couple things out so you don't look crazy, but I would never think that I'm gonna walk into Mark Lamont Hill. And Mark Lamont Hill is a professor. He's a scholar. It's a little different. Journalism is something he did, but it's different. He's a full on scholar. Rob Markman, his history in music journalism goes back just as far as mine. That man is official tissue. Like his credentials ever coming into question are just ridiculous. Like just ridiculous. Like that don't make no sense. Thinking that you can thinking that you can get at Rob Markman on anything journalism is just, goofy. I'm gonna go find a tweet. And Rob responded, and Rob didn't black out. He everybody's calling it. Rob Markman went crazy. Rob Markman this. Rob Markman that. He went nuts. He did this. He did that. But my whole thing is Rob didn't say anything that people don't already know. You dig what I'm saying? It's not something super crazy. He didn't drop any breaking news. He said something that he repeated what Akademiks says about himself all the time. Um, you know, one of the foundations of journalism. Axe says he's the one reading court docs, connecting the dots while they're stumbling, fumbling, looking at. Yeah, okay. The rant comes after Markman accused Akademiks of using an army of clippers to push narratives in response. Akademiks said that Markman and his ilk were nothing but a bunch of article writers who never ever broken a story in their lives. That's stupid. That's that. Now that's you're literally he's literally just reaching. That's stupid. I mean, and that's a dumb reach. Now, bro, what do you read? What have you read? Every issue of Double XL was breaking news. It was a story that was broken. Every issue. There was some new piece of information in there about whatever the subject matter was that no one knew about before that moment. That's one of the dumbest things you could possibly say. We journalists don't break or can't break a story for people who don't read. If we only wrote it down, of course we didn't break it for you. The story broke for you when you heard about it from somebody else. But you don't read. Just a bunch of article writers who have never broken a story in their lives. That's just dumb. That's that's so number one, that's dumb. Number two, one of the tenets of journalism is objectivity. You lose objectivity when you admit that you take money from someone to alter your opinion, the facts, whatever, alter anything. The second you start taking money, journalism is kind of out the window. You can be a journalist your whole run and then take money, and you are now no longer exercising the tenets of journalism. In other words, you're not a journalist anymore. Or you're just a corrupt journalist. You can't be paid for your opinion. That's not how that works. I've been offered tons of money to say X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3. It's never happened. I've gotten into fights faster than I've entertained the conversation. When I say fights, I mean like into fights. Rather than like continue to entertain the BS, I've put hands on people because I mean it escalated to hands because the idea that you first of all, my entire reputation is in jeopardy because you're under the opinion that you can approach me with money and I can be brought. That puts my whole reputation that I've spent years building in limbo instantly. Instantly, my everything that I've built over this time is in jeopardy because you've approached me as if this is a normal thing that you can offer me money for my opinion. Rarely was it money to just sit down and talk with me. It was money for, to say X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3 about whatever it is. And because I'm a music entertainment journalist, it was my opinion on music. Academics blast Rob Markman Lauren LaRosa and Mark Lamont Hill calling them lazy journalists. Like, yo, bro. This is coming from a guy who doesn't come out of the basement. And again, I don't know if y'all remember. I'm sure this is. I'm just trying to give y'all a little cliff notes because I'm not trying to spend a gang of time on this. But I want to keep it a buck. I want to keep it a buck. Um, you guys may remember a little while ago, I said we don't have to hate on academics. We don't have to be mad at academics. I was under the impression, and this is, I still feel this way. I'm under the impression that if we just stop labeling him a journalist, if we just stop expecting journalistic integrity, morals, or tenets from him, we won't have these problems. It won't be that big of a thing. If you should expect him to be what he is, and he's never been something that I've ever called him. He's never done anything I've ever called him a journalist for. He's a media head. Media heads can do research. If I knock he did research. He put a story together. No problem. Can't take that away, ever. I'm not here to shit on it. Right? He did the job. Here's the difference. If I knock his tooth out, does that make me a dentist? We both did the exact same thing. You take a tooth out, I take a tooth. If I knock his tooth out with an overhand right, if I take a tooth out of academics' head, can I say that I'm a dentist? No. If I hop in a car and drive from point A to point B and drop somebody off, can I say that I'm a driver? Can I now claim that I'm a taxi service? No, no, no. If I cook for every one of the garage heads in here, if I cook for every mechanic in here, does that make me a chef? No, no. And it's the exact same. It for me, it's the exact same tenet. It's the exact same principle. I look at it the exact same way because the minuses are so huge. The fact that we know your opinion can be brought automatic disqualification. I can pay for your opinion. I can pay for you to sway. I can pay for your objectivity. I can buy your objectivity. Game's over. Game is over. Game is over. This is no longer a question. Manipulating the algorithm, being popular, being famous, being rich doesn't change what you are and what you aren't unless the description is are you broke and are you unknown. Okay, well being popular and rich completely changes that. When we start talking about a skill set, you're basically the guy who's trying to buy his way through school. When I see someone's opinion can be brought, I don't trust their opinion because you don't know who's doing the buying. You have no opinion. You have no idea who's doing the buying. Could be anybody. Could literally be anybody. Say what again, mother? What up, bro? I ain't see you creeping here. CJ the Kid, what's up? Crafty NYC, what up? What up? Good to see you folks passing through. But yeah, man, this isn't meant to be like a big rant. Um, okay, Chef BZ really can't cook though. All right, well then you got it. When it's time for the grill, you got it. I'm out the way. I'll pay for the food. You got it. Um, I rap in the shower. Can I say I'm an MC? In the words of the mighty Meek Mill, there are levels. And I know people. who don't have any respect for the craft of anything. People, if you don't have respect for the craft, you'll never respect the person speaking on behalf of it. I know there are people who are going to sit there and listen to what I'm saying and tell you this is old, this is played out, this is irrelevant, this is X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. I know people are going to do that. And I get it. I get it. But again, we're talking about people who don't read. You don't have any respect for the craft. You don't have any respect for the culture. You don't have any respect for the art form. And I'm just talking about journalism. You barely know what that is. You feel intimidated when somebody says the word. You hate the idea that someone is announcing that they have a skill set or they've developed a talent that you don't have. So, and rather than respect said talent, you'd rather just pull that bar down so you can reach it. I get it. I get it. It's like, Big Sugar right now saying, I'm the one who can cook. And I go, ain't that serious? Like, who cares that you can cook? Cooking ain't that big of a deal. So what? I can order something. So what? See how dumb that sounds? See how dumb that sounds? That sounded really stupid just now. By the way, I didn't mean a word of it. I did not mean a word of it. But that sounded so stupid. No, I don't want to fight. I don't know. I don't want to fight. Sugar, put it away. I don't want to fight. Stand down. At ease, girl. At ease. I don't want no smoke. Tom, what up? Say what? Let us know how you doing, man. Let us know how you doing. We give a damn. But yeah, I again, I don't want to spend a bunch of time on on this topic. Y'all know I prefer to talk music over anything else. Um, Low IQ activity. Thank you, bro. Like executive coaching for yes, yeah. Low IQ activity, and there's a lot of it. And there, I saw the comments. Oh, academics gonna get these old heads mad. It's like we just watch people try to rewrite the meaning of things, and it's a little irritating because we know the story only gets rewritten when people can't keep up with the original. The bar gets lowered because you cats can't catch it. MCing becomes irrelevant because y'all can't MC. Cursive becomes over unnecessary because you can't write in cursive. Reading becomes because y'all can't read. Journalism becomes irrelevant because you don't really know what that is. And you're sick of people who call themselves journalists who seem to know more than you do or seem to look down on the thing that you do. But you think that's personal. It's not personal, it's professional. You're asking people who are actual chefs to be impressed by McDonald's. We can't do that. We can't do that. You're asking people to pretend to be impressed by the level that you can reach. Can't do that. I can't no one can go backwards in taste. And the more you mature, the more you grow, you'll learn that. You'll learn that. You won't be able to run it back. It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. Once you get used to something dope, you can't go backwards. You can try. You can try. You'll never love it the same way again. Guys, stay focused. I'm doing what I can to keep sugar, with the thing in the holster. But some of y'all are really trying it. Like, let's stay on topic here. Tiffany Blue, save journalism, Mecca. No, I can't. I can't. I can't. This you got a whole generation out here who really feels as if reading is. I saw a post the other day. This young lady gets on IG and says, "You know what? You know why rap is so bad? Because kids can't read. You know why rap is so bad? Because the kids can't read." And then right after that post, I saw another one with this guy who walks around with these like little flashcards, and he on it will it'll have little sentence or two. Actually, it's just one sentence, different sentences, but one sentence, and he'll ask people to read the sentence, and these people can't. They can't read. They can't read the sentence, and it's not like we're not talking SAT level words. We're not talking medical phrases. You know, it take you like 5 minutes to say and 6 months to spell. We're not talking about those. We're talking about is like the silhouette of the priest uh, contradicted the ominous mood. Like something like that, and he'll tell them to read it. And my God, they can't read it. If you've ever had it in your mind that this generation is cooked, or like this will definitely, oh man. And when she said the rap today sucks because kids can't read, and then right after that I see that, bruh, I did not, man, froze me up. I had nothing. I was so caught off guard. It never occurred to me that that might be the reason. One of the words was misspelled too, Mac. They didn't even know it. Exactly. I can see the correlation. Yeah, bro. Vinny select. Perfect way to put vinyl select. Excuse me. Perfect way to put. Yeah, bro. I'm not. This is not me hating. This is not hate. Please don't confuse it with hate. This is not that. I want better for everyone, but there are people who just want to be left to their own bullshit. They don't want they resent whatever it is they can't just do. It's just some of these kids just seem like they want a participation trophy for life, and that doesn't pertain to academics. I'm not even going in that direction. That man has put in work. It may not be the most respectable work on the planet, like that whole Chi-Town thing that put him on the Chirac series that put him on the map. May not be the most respectable thing in the world, but it is what it is. He is where he is, and here we are. Now we just have to figure out how we're all going to get along moving forward because we're all under the same umbrella. Um, did CDs help literacy? I don't know about that. Of course not, bro. Where did you get that from? Of course not. Oh, you know what, Dana? I hear what you're saying, and yeah, okay, okay. Well, in that case, it's not just CDs; it's cassette tapes too. But Dana brought up an interesting point. Shout out to Dana. I used to read the whole CD cover to the credits. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yep, you're 100% right. We did used to rush and crack open CDs, cassette tapes, sometimes while listening to the music, we were reading what was in the cover art, all the credits in there, and then the shout outs. Yeah, it wasn't the most complicated language, but yes, we were at least reading. Then the CDs used to have lyrics to the whole song. Some of them, not all of them. Not matter of fact, I don't think most of them. I think that was like a select. That's a lot of words to put in those books, bro. I don't think that was a thing. Like, subscribe, like, and share, folks. Subscribe, like, and share. Yeah, some did, some did, some did. Albums, yeah, some did. But that I think that was something they decreased over time. Don't quote me on it, but I feel bad for illiterate people. I remember when Fantasia came out as being illiterate and people clowned on her. Yeah, no, it sucks. It's and I don't want that. I don't want that, but at the same time, I think we've gone too far in the other direction. I don't think we should clown people for wanting to get help, for wanting to learn how to read. I don't think that's a thing that we should be indulging in. However, I also don't think we should treat not being able to read as if it's okay. Like without some kind of medical issue or dyslexia or something, I don't think we should be treating it like it's all right. I don't think people should be proud to say I can't read. I don't think you should be necessarily embarrassed about it, especially if you're trying to fix it. But we got people walking around right now talking about I can't read that, and they're just cool with it. Like it's okay to be dumb, and I'm not from that era. It was I don't want to call you dumb. It's okay not to know, and I'm not from that era. I was from the era where if you didn't know something, you got quiet till you could figure it out. You went home and looked it up, or you did whatever you needed to do. But if you didn't know something, you didn't get it somebody because they knew it. You weren't proud of the fact you didn't know. I don't know that shit. You ain't nobody said that. No, you wouldn't admit that. You be quiet. You shake your head. Yes. You took a mental note. You went home. You looked. You checked it out. You wanted to see what was happening. They need make America shameful again. I'm not even gonna hold you. There are certain things we've. It feels like we've eliminated shame for things that people should be ashamed to do. It feels like we want people to be okay with things that they should be embarrassed by, or they shouldn't be comfortable with, or they shouldn't be okay with. Pick one. Pick one. You should know how to read. You should know how to read. I'm not gonna be okay with that. You should know how to read. You shouldn't be okay with wearing pajamas outside. Like there's just certain standards. Like why? I don't know. I don't. Yes, I do. I just don't. And this is why I try to keep it to music. But I'm not about to sit here and just be okay with Rob Markman of all people, Mark Lamont Hill of all people, being gotten at by academics. Like, where do they do that at? Like, bro, are you serious? Are you serious? They're talking about a dude who, as far as if journalism was the NBA, I'm not sure academics would have made it in. And meanwhile, he's in front of a camera popping shit at all stars, Hall of Famers. Like, bro, really? Like seriously? And that just shows the lack of respect for the actual craft. The fact that this is being taken seriously by so many other people. It I see that whole, owning mentality. It's not whether it's right or wrong. It's that like, well, we want you to be wrong. We don't necessarily need to be right, and we just want to. You're owned. Bro, you've been owned, and it feels like that. Feels like a bunch of people who just want to own the smart person in the room because they resent the fact that this is the smart person in the room. So now the object is to, you're not so smart. Instead of you getting smarter, you'd rather just find a way for the smart person to be dumb or for the smart person to be wrong instead of getting smarter. I see this kind of pushback all over the place. Is really like a resentment of professionals and experts and people wanted. I did my research, bro. I got into it the other day with this dude, and I hope I'm not rubbing any feathers the wrong way, but I mentioned that I needed to, I'm gonna get in contact with my doctor homegirl and ask a couple of questions. I don't know if any of you guys were around during the pandemic. I'm not sure if anybody was around, but I was doing lives during the pandemic. I had a what is research today? Research is trying to coming up with a theory and then googling specifically why your theory is correct versus googling the subject and then reading all the information to see if you're right or wrong, to see where you fall into on this specific topic. That's what it is. That's research. Fucking suck. Anyway, during the pandemic, I have a doctor homegirl, and I would have her come up and talk to people and answer questions about COVID. It was, no, we didn't know what it was. She was on the forefront. I had her pull up to answer people's questions. I know I was getting my questions answered, and she was down, but I shouldn't be the only person. And I knew that people around me were nervous. Nobody knew what was happening here. We were all trying to figure it out at the same time, and people were dead ass nervous. So I had her pull up and answer questions, which was really really cool. Except at least twice during the session, someone who was not a doctor would pull up and challenge her. And I'm not opposed to pushback, asking questions to get clarity, which is what we all should do. But there were people who dead ass told her, like, you're wrong or I don't agree and this, that, and the third. And you start asking them, well, on what basis do you disagree? And that's when they hit you with, well, I did my own research. You are claiming that your, at the time, couldn't have been longer than, matter of fact, I'll give you 6 to 8 months worth of research supersedes the knowledge of someone who has a lifelong career in medicine. Gone to the top schools, studied all the hours, learned from the best people available. But your self-guided research now is equal or better than the knowledge of someone who has done this their entire lives. That's what you're telling me. I got into it with somebody just the other day. I said, "Well, I think I'm gonna go, ask a doctor. What you need a doctor for? You got common sense, bro? Stop, 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 stop. Before you tell me how dumb you are, stop, stop. I'd rather keep the impression that I have of you right now. I don't need you, spoiling that. Please shut up. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. I'm not interested in hearing your take on my doctor friends have access to information that most of us civilians have no idea where to even begin to go look to find it, let alone pick it up and start reading. My home, and I say most of us because maybe if you have a doctor friend and you're able to ask questions like I was, maybe you find some of this stuff out. But they are looking in places you don't know exist. They are going to websites that you don't know are a thing. They are picking up books you don't know the names to. They're going to chapter and verse of research that has taken thousands, hundreds of thousands of man hours to compile. They've been doing this their whole run, and somehow, I did my research is the thing that puts you on that person's level. It's really nasty. It's really gross, and I see a lot of that in the support behind ACT challenging Mark Lamont Hill and Rob Markman and the sis. Like, word, bro, word, really? Never broken a story in their lives. You wouldn't know, you don't read. And I'm just keeping it a bug. But that shot at Rob Markman came out of nowhere. Drake put Rock Nation in the lawsuit and tried to get them subpoenaed, but it wasn't a big deal, but a conspiracy theory that Rock Nation is behind the stakes lawsuit and everyone is up in arms about it. Votmel, let me put you on. And I hear you, and this is no insult to you at all, so I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I don't care. I don't care. I don't gamble. I don't work for Rock Nation. If you do, either one of those things, good for you. I don't care. I just want to get back to the music. I just want to hear bars and beats. I don't care about any of that. I don't know why this is such a big deal other than certain people are pushing an agenda. Tiffany, Tiffany, something wrong with something's big wrong with you. Reb MD does make you a doctor. Tiff, you are something wrong with you. Yes, laugh emojis for the yo. Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Thank you, Vot. I'm glad you. Me too, Mick. Thank you, Vot. I just needed to say that out loud because I felt like, but I didn't want you to take it the wrong way. And I thank you for giving me the explanation behind the whole joint. I knew that, but I'm glad you said it to the. I'm glad you said it to us. I'm glad you said it to the room. I'm not mad at all. I just needed you to know that, bro. I just want the music. I don't care what Rock Nation is doing. I promise, unless y'all putting out a Cole album or y'all got something popping that I want to hear. I understand the music industry is the entertainment industry. I get that. I understand that people are. I get it all. I'm not beefing. I'm not complaining. But I don't care. I reserve the right to not care about too much outside of music. And when there's no music coming from it, it's really difficult for me to understand what all the. Pardon me. I'm about to get a real white with this next word. What all the hullabaloo is about. Ready for the J Rock album. Thank you. I want to see what's up with this corrupt Master Killer Rakim joint about to drop. Like I hear Jay, there's rumblings for Jay to drop a project. Luda is supposed to be doing something. And not to mention all the up and comers that I see dropping bars left and right. Bro, I just care about music. Charlie Funk, what up, bro? Uncle Push, what up, bro? I just want to hear the masters get busy and the new students pulling up. I don't care. Like all of this sounds super crazy, bro. What are we talking about? Why how does a lawsuit from Rock Nation against a gambling site alleged how does an alleged lawsuit from that company towards this company, why do I care other than Rock Nation is synonymous with Jay-Z and Stakes is are now synonymous with Aiden Ross and Drake and now Akademiks. Bro, I don't. Oh God, I don't care. And I'm so sick of people trying to make me care. I don't know how we started talking about this. This is not serious. This is not serious. It's not serious. This is not a topic. Mussolini and Ninth's album. Yeah, listen, Ninth Wonder. Shout out to Ninth Wonder. Like, bro, there's stuff on in the pipeline that I am very excited to talk about. D1. Shout out to the homie D1. I just connected him with I can't even blow the outlet up, but he's about to go do something that's dope. Bumped into Chance the Rapper last night. Looking forward to interviewing him and talking to him about music and what he thinks about the landscape and his bar work and this offbeat thing that he's got going. Like I'm looking forward to stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. A lawsuit against a management slash record label and a gambling app. Like, bro, really? We this bored? The new Nipsey, the prolific Nipsey. We this is what it's come to. This is what we doing. This is what we doing. We got DJ Academics, who people barely say DJs. We barely. I don't know. I never seen a clip of him DJing, going after actual journalists and an academic, like a real academic, Mark Lamont Hill, like an actual academic. Because the Kick platform pays all the Clippers to push this BS into our algorithms. Hard to get away from it. Vot, you're right. You're right. You're right. Just it's again part of my as the kids say, this is cringe as fuck. Like, bro, I don't care. I don't unless we busting it up. Like we could eliminate all this if we just got back to music. If we just got back to listening to the joints. We just got back to enjoying music. Sneaker release Nino Breeze did with Adidas. No, I did not, but I really want to now. I don't know if you guys know, but Adidas is really all I wear. I got a few pairs of other things. I got some Timberlands. Um, why even continue the topic? Let's just talk music. I'm talking it because it's Rob Markman. Make no mistake. I hear you, CJ. You're right, but it's the whole Rob Markman, Mark Lamont Hill thing. Like two dudes who I actually know, whose works I've actually like studied, read, whose things I whose credentials I've seen in action. I've seen them earn what they say about them, and it just bothers me that we have this dumb universal dumbing down across the board where people resent the experts, and you got dudes who wouldn't make it in the league trying to challenge the MVP. It's nasty. It's nasty. If a investor wanted you to start a hip hop magazine, would you do it? I don't think so. I don't think so. It it wouldn't. I don't see it being worth the investment. Not today. Not today. I don't see it be. I think we'd all lose money if an investor stepped to me and that's what he wanted to spend his money on. I mean, I'd rock out because that's the gig. But no, I don't think I would. I'm not sure there's enough people who read to actually sustain the physical copy, the physical print. We talk more about lawsuits than Iceman. I thought the music was supposed to save hip hop. Bruh. Good eye. Good eye. Quarterly, I don't know. I don't know. I'm dead serious. There are still writers in the world, 100%. But first of all, I'd have to sort through everyone who really writes versus people who are using AI to write their pieces. That's a head. That just saying those words damn near gave me a headache. Just saying that sounds gross. Just I did go look. I did go check. I don't have one pay one I don't have one super chat for 150, right? But I did see like 50 over three different chats. Three different 50s at three different chats. Maybe that's what happened. I couldn't because when it's all said and done, what it does is it shows me all every the full amount that was compiled for that day. So I can't see who did what, or if I can, I just haven't figured out how to see it yet. But I do see 3 days, three consecutive days of 50, 50, 50. So like there's that one was like an $80 day, another one was like a $68 day, like that, like that. So maybe that's how it happened. It wouldn't surprise me if you were all three of the you had a hand in all three of those days. But I did not see one day of 150. I didn't see that. Not one of those days was there 150 or over. Yes, I saw that as well. But in one day, I did 350 super chat back to. But in one day, I did. But it was in pieces, right? It wasn't like all at one time. It was on like one thing. It was like you did one here and one there. Or just what you can do is maybe email me and we'll figure this thing out together, and I'll go back through and really look at it like in real time while I can communicate with you, and we'll sort it out. I want to get to the bottom of this thing. I don't like that you don't like it. So I'm down to rock with you. I'll throw my email. I'll send you over my email, and we'll go from there. But we'll figure it out. Absolutely. Yeah, because one day it would have to. Oh, well, okay, hold on. Say what again, mother? I did three of them back to back to back, but it was not going through. They went through real quick, but it did not show me anything. So when I checked my account, only two of them came off. Oh, oh yeah, yes, I did three different times, and my account shows two, and then a third. We gonna have to look at that. We gonna have to. I'm gonna give you my email. We'll figure it out. We gonna have to look at that. I'll send you like a. I got you. You just tell me what you need. What days? We'll figure it out. You give me all the information. We'll figure it out. I won't blow it up right here, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You and I'll figure it out. Hold on. Let me get to say what again, mother. $5 super chat. Salute to the God. The beat is verbal intercourse in the studio. The beat is verbal intercourse. Okay. In the studio is Nas, Prodigy, Biggie, LL, Cannabis, Jadakiss, and Pun. Who comes out of the booth with the best verse? Oh Lord. Mm. It's between for me. It's between Pun, Cannabis, and Nas. Slim, what up? Salute, salute to Slim. What up? Or is it Slime? I'm just gonna stick with Slim till you tell me different. Um, it figured out because you said you only saw 250 payments, and that's what my account is reflecting. But I did three, so the third did not go. Oh, okay. I see. I see. I see. Um, I see. I see. Okay. Okay. I'm still gonna give you my email, but I think I understand better where you're coming from. I get you. I get you. Again, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Um. Oh, I see some folks trying to, and they're not getting some folks are trying to troll and they're not getting the attention. Ignorance is bliss. Jeru the damage is one day playing in my head. The state of the culture shaking my head. That act is even a voice in hip hop space is scary. Do people listen to what this goofy says? Yeah, ain't no telling, bro. The people just shout out to Jazz Fly. She said every club, there's always a club that will willing to let in a D-list celebrity. She means anybody who there's way more there's way more of those guys and their supporters than we might like to think. He Man's face, big pun. Okay, we got a Prodigy. Tiff says Prodigy. Tech, that's a spooky session. Absolutely. The kid is straight. Charlotte doesn't get enough blame of him for co-signing him into the culture. Well, yeah. Well, then there's that. But Obi Wan brought Anakin in, and look what happened. It never starts off with never starts off with what you think it's gonna do. Ack is basically the 2026 version of Charlemagne the God. Spade, I get you. There's room for traditional journalists and also new age journalism. I don't like that phrase, new age journalism. Journalism is journalism. Journalism in any age is the journalism of that age. But journalism comes with basic tenets that don't change. So there's really no new age journalism. It's just people doing journalism in a new age, and you adjust for the technology, but the tenets don't change. And if we just stop referring to Ack as a journalist, we wouldn't necessarily need to hold him to those same kind of standards. He wouldn't have to hold himself to those standards, and he could stop beefing with people who are established in that field. And it's like categories in hip hop. There's been a big debate going, not a big debate, but there's been a debate going back and forth over the last couple of years that hip hop needs more categories. Like there's actually adult contemporary hip hop now. There's like wave, the stuff that like A Boogie with the Hoodie does. Like that, titles can differ, but like there's a whole bunch of different styles of what we do out here, and each little lane is under the umbrella, the general umbrella of hip hop, and we can just start assessing the proper titles so people can actually flourish in their lanes. I think that's something we should be doing in the media today. Nothing too crazy. It ain't nuts. It's hey, okay, here's a lane, and academics would flourish in said lane if he was just in the right lane. But if I put a ballet dancer in a tap dancing studio, it could be the best ballet dancer in the world, but you're gonna flunk out of this lane every time. You're in the wrong place. You just walked into the wrong restaurant. Sorry, so sorry. But in here, your expert level, ballerina dancing, ballet dancing, flunks horribly in a tap dancing studio. You are doing you're awful. If we just categorize it the right way, if we just stop lumping all dancers in at the same time, we wouldn't have this issue. I have things. Things have meaning. A journalist goes through certain process to become a journalist. Someone who does different is something else. Same way listening to an audio book is not reading. We can do this all day. Dr. Baba, I'm just gonna call you Doc. Dr. Lee. We can do. You are 100. I've made a similar. I made a similar analogy earlier on. You're 100% right. Ransom drops at midnight. Method Man Red. Thank you for that information. Bus is dropping Diligence 2 on the 20, like next week. We got music coming, people. We got music coming. Imagine me saying I am a journalist when what I do is share opinions. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I believe it. Man, listen. It's that I co-host when what I do is moderate. Yeah, because words mean things, sugar. Words mean things. We're all saying the same thing, but I'm so happy that I'm not. Sometimes outside it just makes you feel crazy. You start listening to what people are saying. You see how they getting down. It's just like, yo, bro, am I crazy? Am I bugging? Is the world just like not here anymore? What did I miss? Some of the shit that people say is like, yo, my man, am I bugging? You start asking yourself, am I bugging? Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm bugging. $5 super chat. Say what again, mother? With the hip hop question: Beans and Scarface or Nas and Raekwon? Who makes the best collab album? They're all in their primes. Beans and Scarface. Beans and Scarface are gonna make an album that people feel that resonate with folks mentally for years to come. Raekwon and Nas are gonna make like the ultimate in street street technology album. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. They're both gonna be fire, but they're gonna appeal to very different audiences. And I think Beanie Siegel's gift for introspection combined with his gift for introspection combined with Scarface's gift for storytelling and introspecting, I think that album is going to be like deeper than rap. They'll both be dope. They'll both be dope. Circle of life. At the end of the day, too many outsiders being stitched into this hip hop thing. The essence is the essence. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Say what? I'm $5 super chat from Say What Again, mother. I'm going with Beans and Scarface. I think the introspection in there is gonna be crazy. Sugar, Beanie Siegel. Beanie Siegel from Rockefeller fame. That's Beans. And booked another gig. Who's Beans, Mac? I know him. Yes, you know him, Sugar. Of course you do. Say what? These are really great hip hop questions. I missed you, bro. Thank you for pulling back up. We missed you around here. These are great questions. Leroy Green, Rob Markman been a professional journalist for 20 years before folks thought it was cool. Get actor FOH. Pin drop. I'm not even gonna. Yeah. I'm taking your hip hop card away from the day. Don't do that. Say what? Look. She asked. At least she asked. She could have literally just. And this is what hip hop is supposed to be. You don't know, you ask. At least she didn't. Now, had she been a fan of some of these other cats we talking about, had she had same kind of mentality as some of these other folks, Sugar would have came on here and saying, "So what? Nobody cares about him. I ain't never been in a ride." And somebody said, "Put on that Beanie Siegel." Instead of just admitting she was wrong, she would have brought him down. You see what I'm saying? Difference between talking to grown folk and talking to some of these other cats. Dr. Lee, I imagine this is something you've been asked before, but how did all the credible, respected hip hop outlets, Source, Double XL, etc., disappear to the point that these posers now seem to be the primary voices of hip hop? They didn't adjust fast enough to the internet. They could not adjust quick enough to what it would take to compete with the speed of the internet. Number one. Number two, these magazines were primary outlets for people to get to know the artists that they really dug. social media replaced that. Social media gives you a first-hand look. Well, it's still curated, but for what people believe, for all intents and purposes, they have they've replaced that need for the insight into an artist's life. Social media can with social media, Fabulous can tell you exactly what he's having for dinner and show you a picture. So the magazine is no longer the magazine was no longer the main outlet for knowledge of someone's life, or the inside track, the ability to be nosy, the ability to know your artist beyond their music. And you have to understand it takes a lot to adjust a multi-million-dollar operation with contracts and long-standing agreements with other companies, the whole ecosystem, the print, the printers, the paper, the advertisers, shifting all of that over into this thing that now moves 24/7. And then it became the entertainment became less fact based. So the research that was necessary to try to make sure that you were telling this story was A1 credible also became, now it's a liability. You have to move faster. And granted, there's more information, but now there's more to sift through. Not everything is true. No one needs like a card to plug into the internet and like, okay, I have my card is 1A when it comes to journalism, so I'm going to insert my 1A card and now I'm going to say a bunch of stuff that's automatically verified because of my card. No, people in this room, people in that room, people with 1A cards can do it, but so can somebody with a 2B card or a 3Z card, or here comes a guy with no card whatsoever. They just have Wi-Fi. And now everybody is inserting whatever they believe to be the truth, or some things they know is blatantly untrue, or they're just like want to be involved. People who raise their hand and say, okay, well, I want to talk now since everybody else did. They don't have anything to say. They just want to talk. They just want to be heard. And now you got to sift through all that stuff. Research was a little easier to do on certain topics because there weren't a million and one dead end, non credible sources. It's not the same anymore. So even with that vacuum, you open up the door for everybody. Everybody. Some people just don't have an internet persona to do it every day talking to a computer screen to people they don't know. Wait a minute, is that a shot? I talk to people out of I talk to you, but I feel like I know y'all. And I don't do it every day. And I don't necessarily have a persona. If you go check the last Mechanism Monday I did, I actually talked about character versus reputation. And character versus reputation is crazy because they get conflated so much. But your character is who you actually are. Your reputation is how you've made people feel, who people think you are. And it's I've seen people lose their reputations because their real character showed through, and I've seen people reveal their real character in spite of what their reputation said they were. It's a thing. It's a thing. So those of us who are able to survive or thrive even are those of us whose character and reputation mirror each other. My character comes first, and I let my reputation mirror that, and it works out. It works out because I don't. I that's why. But that's another reason why I guard my reputation so crazy, because my reputation is basically my character. If you insult my reputation, you're insulting my character. There's almost no way around it. If you say you did X, Y, and Z, and that's something that's outside of my character, I'm gonna get upset. Whether my reputation takes a hit, regardless, bro. You're insulting my character. So now this is happening. It's different. Say what again, mother? One more hip hop question. Which album is better, and which was more important to hip hop? Cam's "Come Home with Me" or Mace's "Harlem World"? Mace, Mace, Mace. For so many different reasons, but my answer is Mace. Especially the time being, and when you listen to Mace's bars, like Mace was so effortless with it. Barely seemed like he was performing. He always sounded like he just woke up, and then he'd get started and just start murdering shit. And Harlem World was pretty pivotal, pretty pip for the time. For the time, Come Home with Me just no, it hit. Come Home with Me did what it did. I'm not mad, but like it almost felt like we could see Come Home with Me. We could see that album coming. Meanwhile, Harlem World was like kind of hit no love for Double Up. No, Tiffany, no love for Double Up. Mace Harlem World had these girls losing their damn mind in high school. Yeah, you had to be there. Thanks, but on the angle of getting to know the artist, many articles analyze the music, its inspiration, depth, etc., rather than just interviews in that sense. So that's one part that's still missing. Um, right, right. However, how do I say this? How do I say this? The articles that rated the music were 9 times out of 10 separated from the articles that interviewed the artist. The articles that interviewed the artist, the job was to show the personality of the person behind this music that you like so much. Here's the problem. Music is by and large subjective, although we can quantify it, although certain people have qualified opinions because of how we listen to music. We in the journalism, we in the entertainment journalism world have also run into that syndrome that I was describing earlier, where people have resentment for the experts. And I'll have people telling me like, it's not that serious when I start talking about rating an album and how long it takes to properly do it. I have people telling me it's not that serious, it's just music. And these are the very people who resent the fact that I'm telling them it takes this long. It would normally take this long to get a thorough listen all the way through in order to do a real proper rating. But they'll tell you it's not. They'll look me dead in the face and say it's just music. It's not that serious. Going 3302. Why do you care what I look like? Of all the things that are being said here, why is that the thing that you've decided to say? What I look like? I don't know what you look like. I also don't care what you look like. The real question is, why do you care? How's that helping your life? It is serious. It's art for most people, right, Tiff? But we're talking about folks who are gonna walk into an art gallery and tell you that they like this artist, and then there'll be an actual art critic who'll tell you the ups and downs, the in and outs, the loopholes, and then you have that same person. I don't care what you think, and that's where we start. Yo, I went into a back and forth with the EYL dudes because they started telling. And shout out to them, shout out to the EYL cats. I'm alive, pew pew. But you had to get at least one. I got into it with the EYL cats because we started talking music and they start telling me how long they've been listening to music, and I have to remind them, so what? We're not talking about music from the point of enjoying it as a fan. That's not what I'm doing. And the fact that you think that's what I'm doing is why you're, pardon me, not really supposed to be having this kind of conversation with me. It's like me telling them I've been watching, stock market programs for, my whole life, and now I think I can do what they do. It's that level of disrespect to the expertise that you need in order to thrive in that area. I would never do that, but you have people who, because they're fans of music, they think we're doing the same thing, and we're not. But you tell them that, and they don't want to hear that there's something that, makes this other guy different or special from what they are. They're not trying to hear that. So now you're beefing. And here we are. But like Tiff is saying, listening to music doesn't make you a journalist. Knocking a tooth out doesn't make you a dentist. Cooking for your friends doesn't make you a chef. Riding in a plane doesn't make you a pilot. Like there's a bunch of it, but you can't tell people that. If I cause internal bleeding, am I a doctor? Like no, bro. Like, but you can't tell people. They don't want to hear that. Doesn't matter how long you've been listening to music, because I thought MC Hammer was the best rapper when I was 5. Leroy, I'm just gonna walk away from that one. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna. Harlem World had one of the best up north, down south collabs ever. King Philip, say more. Which one do you think was the best? I'd like to hear that. That feels like a say what again mother level question. What was the collab, the up north slash down south collab that you think was one of the best ever? I have a feeling I know which one it is, but I want to hear you say it so we can bring it to the forefront. That's like when people talk to me about boxing and never boxed a day in their life. Completely irritating. Weed song, girl song, party song, a story, a posse cut, one introspective joint were the prerequisites for an album back when. Circle. Yeah. Yeah. And you had to be able to execute each one at a high level. But you're 100% right. They did have their checklist. They got something for the girls, something for the club, something for the streets. You hear every rapper say, "Dude, when we were doing interviews back then, you do an interview, you ask somebody to describe their album, they were 100% running it down the exact same way. I got something on there for the girls. I got something on there for the streets." The Playaway featuring 8 Ball and MJG. I saw it at a favor for a favor. Do you think I took martial arts for many years, and I can't talk to people about fighting. I've never been trained to do so. Leroy, I could pin drop that. If that was in me, I would. That's pin drop worthy. That's pin drop worthy. The Playaway featuring 8 Ball and MJG. King Philip, I'm going to ask you a specific question, and everybody feel free to jump in if you want. Do you think? Do you think that record was? There's no wrong answer, but I really want to hear what you think. Do you think that record was Gemstones, Flintstones? Could you say hi? Oh, Jesus Lord. Do you think that was? I want to use your exact word. Hold on. I want to use your exact word. One of the best up north down south. Do you think that record was better than? I'm about to fuck you up. Big Pimpin' with Jay Z, featuring UGK. Wolf, you were reading my mind. I just want to. I just want to hear. I just want to hear what you think. This same point it also reveals itself in the music. Look at the depth of the average hip hop artist in the '90s and listen to what we have. And the majority today will call them both rappers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Looks like we stumped King Philip. No wrong answer, King. No pressure. 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 Nah, I'm just messing with you. I do want to hear the answer though. Let me know something. Let me know how you feel about it. Same way I feel about martial arts, I feel about journalism because I'd never say I'm a real journalist when I've never professionally been that. It hits different. It Listening to music in your recreation for fun is definitely something that gives you a lot of memory strike. But if you've never had to, if your next paycheck didn't depend on your pen, you know what I mean? If you didn't do it for a living, we're just not talking the same. If your job was about getting it right or wrong, we're just not talking the same. Come on, King Philip. Come on here, buddy. Come on, buddy. Let me know what you're thinking. Big Pimpin' is my effing joint. Sugar, I can see you dancing around the pool with Big Pimpin' on. You just in Miami, just living that Florida life. But Favor for a Favor is a better record to me. Yeah, I respect it. I respect it. I respect it. Nas and Scarface, I respect it. I can't even say to be honest. I enjoy Playaway more overall beats and rhymes. I didn't care for Big Pimpin' beat. Pimp C saved the song for me. Okay, so that's your answer. That's your answer. I get it. That's your answer. Playaway is your answer. And again, I respect it. This is not a matter of which one was better. I'm not about to sit here, but I respect it, and I respect the reason. Buster killing me waiting for that Dilla joint next week, bro. Next week, y'all are gonna love this album. And just for the record, I wanted Spaz to come out last year. I was trying to put that on a project we had called Dragon Season. I wanted that to be on that. I've been screaming for Spaz to drop for like the last 5 6 years. That's how long he's been sitting on that record. Crazy, right? I'm gonna make a top 10 and tweet you. Okay, go for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. In the meantime, in between time, I've kept y'all on here for well over an hour. Let me shake the spot and go get something to eat for myself. Brothers and sisters, mothers and misters, bunions and blisters, I'd like to thank you for pulling up to the garage home to the worldwide mechanics. I'm your head mechanic, Mac Rashawn. As always, likes, hypes, and subs is the way you show your boy love. Um, Keep your eyes out for these new albums. We're gonna be chopping it up in here about them. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the F shit, but I do want to get into more music. Um, so keep me abreast as things are popping and jumping off. Whatever it is, we just gonna talk music. Hit that bell so you know when I'm pulling up. God willing, I will see y'all here tomorrow around 5 o'clock when I go live. More interviews coming. Wait till y'all see the rest of this Al interview. Shout out to my partner Gat Taylor, the Meccan Gat Show, doing our 1-2 on World Star. But check the Meccan Gat channel on YouTube. Let me know what you think of the full interview. Max B with his daughter sat down, did a full rundown with him, me and Taylor. Y'all let me know what you think. All right. Hang up your cover rolls, hang up your tool belt. Let's get this thing off the rack. See what we had in the meantime. Between time, the garage is now closed for the evening. Y'all be safe. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow.